Welcome back to the Life on Cars. Hope you're all well. Today's video, I'm working on my daughter's Nissan Micra, and it's time to do some routine maintenance, bit of a tune-up, and we're going to do the spark plugs and a new air filter. You know, I worked out the other day that she's done 50,000 miles in that little Nissan Micra in 4 years, so she's been doing a lot of driving. So I'm almost sure that it's ready for a new set of plugs and an air filter. So let's get stuck in, find out what we need to do. Let's go. So on these Micra engines, all the spark plugs are underneath the airbox. So we need to take this off. And there's a few bolts, but it's not too complicated. Let's show you what you need to do. I'm going to start by taking this pipe off here. So I'm going to take these two clips out. And then we just need to turn this pipe up like that, and then it'll come out. Next, I'm going to take these two connectors off. One. Two. I'm going to disconnect this pipe here. Like that. So where this blue connector is here, there's a little 10mm bolt there, which I'm going to take out so that I can release this sensor from the airbox. So I'm just going to take that nut off and then pop that out. You'll find that that sensor has got two pipes to it, and one of them is this pipe here, so we just need to take that off there. Like that, and then we can swing this sensor out of the way like that. Just let it hang down there. Right, we're ready to take the bolts out now that actually hold all this on. Right, let's see what we need to do to get the airbox off. So we're looking for these bolts. There's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then there is one just down the back which you can just about see down there. So those are the ones that we need to remove. So yeah, they're actually 10mm bolts, so we'll get them taken off. Right, we should be able to just lift this airbox off. There we go. Now we can see the actual coil packs, 4 in total, and they're held on by 10mm bolts as well. So we need to take them off and then lift the coil packs out of the holes. There we are. Okay, we can actually get down to the spark plugs now. So we're going to use a 5/8 spark plug socket, and we're going to go down there and unscrew the spark plugs. Just using a extendable magnet on the end of a stick to lift those spark plugs out. So now that we've got the old plugs out, you can see, if I zoom in on this, how worn they are. Can you see how the center electrode has started to taper off, and it's also rounded off? So these plugs are definitely ready for a change. The good news is though, they're a good colour. That browny, light brown tint tells me that the engine's running nice and clean. So, but yeah, these have definitely been in long enough. So here's my new parts. I've got my new spark plugs, my new air filter. Here's my old plugs. And the gap for the Nissan Micra 1.2 K12 should be 1.1 millimeters. That's the gap on the spark plug between the earth electrode and the center electrode. So they normally come preset, but it is worth checking just to make sure. I've got a nice little spark plug gapping tool here, so I'm just going to check that these are all at 1.1 millimeters, and then they'll be ready to fit. Looking good. Just visually check that they're the same length on the thread. A little bit of anti-seize compound on the threads with my finger. So I'm going to carefully lower the plugs down with my finger. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I'm going to start them by hand just to make sure that they're threading in nicely. If you're not sure how tight to put the spark plugs, you could invest in a mini torque wrench, and you're looking at around about 20 to 25 Newton meters. It's just a case of reversing the procedure now, so we're going to pop the coils back in first. Then pop the little retaining bolts in. They only need to be nipped up. Right, this is a good time to do the air filter because it's a lot easier with the air box off. So there's a couple of clips, I'm going to release them and then the air filter will pop out. Let's just take a look at this old one, see what it's like. Oof, nasty. Yeah, that was definitely ready for a change, wasn't it? Dear me, yes, we've got our money's worth out of that. Okay. Let's get the new one in. So we're going to pop it into the filter box assembly. Just locate the lower tabs into the holes and then it should clip back into place. Right, it's important just to check these rubber seals that go onto the manifold, and there's another rubber seal there. Just check them for cracks, splits, If they are perished and cracked, then you'll need to source some new ones from Nissan, because it's important to have a gas tight seal on these. I'm going to give them a bit of a shot of silicone spray, just so that they're nice and slippy, so they slot back into place in the manifold. Alright, let's get it back on the car then. So we reverse the procedure that we used to take it off. Just locate it carefully into the manifold, and then we'll get the bolts fitted back in. This will do your engine a lot of favours. A new set of spark plugs and a new air filter will most likely reduce the amount of fuel the engine uses. The engine will run a lot cleaner and a lot more efficient. So it's really worth the effort to do this job. So I'm just relocating the connector on the back, and then we can start reconnecting the electrical connectors. Just make sure the cables are located correctly back into place, and any clips that you've taken off, just make sure they're located back where they belong. So remember, we need to reconnect this hose, so we're just going to pop that back on. You can use a pair of pliers if your fingers aren't strong enough to refit the clips. Not forgetting this hose as well. And then last but not least, we need to refit the air intake pipe. There we go, turn it down and refit the clips, and then we're all done. This is just me being me. I do like to just wipe the fingerprints off and just give the airbox a bit of a clean over, just to make the job look good. Well, there we are then, it's all sorted and back together. Hopefully she'll get a few more years out of that little Nissan. She calls it Nigel the Nissan, which I always find quite funny. But no, on a serious note, what a reliable car that's been. You know, if you look in the playlist for the Japanese vehicles, you'll see another couple of videos on the Nissan Micra. But yeah, it's been a super little car, and it's only had a couple of bottom arms. I think it's had a set of brake discs and pads, and apart from that, servicing and maybe a few tyres. But you know, for 50,000 mile, you can't go wrong. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, don't forget to give me a like and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Check out the playlist for other routine maintenance jobs, or if you fancy having a look at some of the projects that we've got going on Life on Cars, on some classic cars such as this great big Rolls-Royce Silver Spirit. Anyway, take care, safe driving, see you again soon. Bye bye.